In the previous video, we created a new React app using White, and we also updated the app.jsx file to check whether our changes were reflecting in the browser or not. And yes, everything worked perfectly. Cool. Before we move ahead, just a quick note: to create and run this project, Node.js must be installed on your system. You can quickly check whether Node.js is installed by running these commands in your terminal. Node-v. If it gives you version number, then run npm-v. If you see the version numbers for both of these, you are good to go. If not, simply visit nodejs.org, download the LTS version from this page and install it. Just keep clicking next during installation and npm get installed automatically with Node. Now let's understand the basic structure of a React app. First open index.html. Here, two important things to notice. First, a div with the ID root and the main.jsx file linked on line number 11. Yeah, this file is entry point of our React application. If we open main.jsx in src folder, you will see React's built-in create root function is being used. What does this do? It creates a root node for the React application. It takes an HTML element as an input. In this case, we pass the root element from index.html. Then using render method, we tell React which component to be displayed in this element. In this code, it is app component with strict mode. So this is the basic flow of how React app starts executing. One more thing, whenever we make changes in our code, we start the development server using npm run dev. Cool, let's go to project directory and run command npm run dev. And if we want to stop the server, we simply press Ctrl C in the terminal. Cool, let's start it again. Now that we understand how a React app starts, let's move to the main topic, React components. But before that, we need to understand something very important, JSX. Normally, when we want to add HTML using JavaScript, we use methods like createElement, appendChild or innerHTML. But in React, we don't need to do this manual DOM manipulation. Instead, React gives us JSX. JSX allows us to write HTML directly inside JavaScript and return it from a component. This makes UI development much easier and cleaner. Now this is very important to understand that JSX is not HTML. Browsers do not understand JSX directly. During the build process, a transpiler like Babel reads the JSX code and parses it into normal JavaScript. When we write JSX like this, behind the scenes it becomes something like this. React then uses this to create actual DOM elements that the browser can render. For now, don't worry about things like props and children. We will cover them step by step in upcoming videos. The key thing to remember is JSX is just easier way to write UI which React converts into JavaScript for the browser. As we understood the purpose of JSX and how it works with React, now time to understand the most powerful feature of JSX, the ability to write JavaScript expression inside JSX using curly brackets. Let's see this in action. Open app.jsx and look at this code we updated in last video. Don't worry about components yet, we will cover components in the video after this topic. Let's keep things simple and focus on JSX now. Inside the app function, create a variable called age. Const age is equal to 25. Now add a paragraph here, age next year, and in curly brackets, age plus 1. As we already started the server, let's open the app in browser. You can see age next year 26. Cool, it worked. Now let's try one more thing. Create a variable in header component. Const title equal to daily improvements. Instead of hard coding text, let's render the variable in JSX using curly brackets. Yeah, it worked perfectly. By using curly brackets, we can render dynamic values inside JSX. This is how React makes UI dynamic and powerful. One more important JSX rule to understand is, in normal HTML, we use class attribute. But in JSX, we use class name. Because class is reserved keyword in JavaScript. So JSX uses class name instead. Let's add a class and define some styles in app.css. Perfect, it worked as expected. Now that we understand JSX, let's finally talk about components. A React component is simply a JavaScript function. For React to recognize it as a component function, it must follow two rules. The function name must start with a capital letter, and second, it must return some renderable value, usually JSX or a simple text. And that's it. That's how simple a React component is. One of the biggest advantage of component is reusability. For example, we can use this header component multiple times on a page. Of course, just repeating the same header doesn't make any sense here. To make components truly powerful and reusable, we need something called props. And that's exactly what we will learn in the next video. That's all for this video. If you found this helpful, please like the video. Subscribe to Project Station for more React lessons. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.